A guide to reading research group design articles. This is one video to guide you through reading and understanding research. This video is on group design. What is empirical quantitative research? Quantitative research looks at factors that can be measured in some way. It produces numerical results that can be analyzed statistically. Empirical is a term that simply means any form of research based on direct observation. A hint is that the articles will have some sort of numerical measuring and statistical analysis. Some key terms for group design are random assignment, treatment or independent variable, dependent variable, control group, and experimental group. The two key terms to know for group designs are the control group, which are those that do not receive the treatment or independent variable under study, and experimental group, those who receive the treatment or are exposed to the independent variable under study. There are several types of group designs. The first is one group pre-test, post-test design. In this design, there's the observation measurement, introduction of the stimulus or the treatment, and then observation and measurement. With a post-test only control group design, the control group only receives the post-test. In a pre-test, post-test control group design, it is a classical experimental design. With a time series group design, you obtain a series of assessments of the dependent variable at pre-treatment and post-treatment. In non-equivalent control group designs, the characteristics of the controlled group differ from the experimental group. Some guiding questions are: what is my purpose for reading this article? Does this study match my purpose? What information do I need from the study? What is the main idea of the article? What is the researcher trying to do? And a tip is to look at the date and title and determine the variables when you first look at the article. The characteristics of group design research articles are the abstract, the introduction or purpose of the study, the method, which contains the procedures, participants, and measures, the results, which contains tables and figures, the discussion, which contains the implication, limitations, and future research, the conclusions, and references. To identify this type of research, look at the title of the article. Does the title include the group under investigation? Also look for the research questions. Is the question about a comparison between two groups? Is the question about a single group and performance before and or after treatment? Look also at the results. Are there graphs, tables, or charts comparing two groups? Or are there graphs, tables, or charts comparing a before and after treatment with a single group? Taking the example of the article exploring the involvement of bullying among students with disabilities over time, you can look at the title of the article. It tells you about the treatment group or the group that is being studied, which is students with disabilities. Over time suggests that this study is longitudinal. The abstract section provides a snapshot of the study. The abstract answers the questions: what and who are the researchers investigating, and what did the researchers find? The introduction section is a statement of background and may review studies on the same topic. It also gives us the purpose and tells us what is being studied and why. It may include the research questions. As you can see here, the research questions of the current article are: do students with disabilities experience consistently higher rates of victimization in comparison to their peers without disabilities over time? You can see in the first question the two groups that are being examined: students with disabilities and comparison to their peers or typically developing individuals. The method section is a description of the experimental group or sample, control, variables, number of test subjects, test conditions, etc. The method section informs the reader of the independent and dependent variables. The independent variable may be identified but may not be manipulated by the researcher, as in the case of this article. The effects of the independent variable on the dependent variable are measured. The researchers used a random sample of students divided into two groups. One, students without disabilities, and two, students with disabilities. The results section reports the researchers' findings. Results may be presented in numeric form as tables, charts, or graphs, along with statistical analysis comparing the two groups. Looking at the tables from this article, the table reflects both the results of the control group and the treatment group, or the group under investigation. Take a look at the line graphs. The y-axis is the score on the bullying victimization measure, and the x-axis is the time, in this case, grade or year in school. By looking at the line graphs provided, you can see the students with disabilities achieves consistently higher scores on the bullying victimization measure. The discussion section provides the meaning, significance, and relevance of the research results. The discussion section answers the questions: what was the purpose of the study? What new information did we get from the study? And were the research questions answered? The discussion section also includes the limitations and practical implications of the study. It tells the reader what limits affected the study and how the results affect current interventions and approaches. The conclusion section contains the researchers' conclusions that can be drawn from their results. The section answers the questions: what did the research show? And what should professionals, practitioners, and researchers consider? This is the reference section. It contains the studies and tools listed in the research article. This is the reference or citation that was used for this presentation.